The following station of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good afternoon from TFNN. Welcome to the February 13th Hump Day edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. How about we have an extraordinary one? Of course, you know the easiest way to do that? It's to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Today, you and I, we get to go check out the circumstance of these markets. We get to go figure out what the bulls and the bears, what the buyers and the sellers are communicating to you and I just past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to know I am absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more importantly, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone, dial on in 877-927-6648. If you can't dial in, we've got you covered. Excuse me, just send me an email. Send it early if you would. And to steve@tfnn.com. Inside the subject heading, if you'd be kind enough to put radio show question. And then, of course, in the Tiger's Den, any ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on wonderful Wednesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to Lush Show. Right now, the Dow trade up 89 points, 25,516 is the print. S&P's up 7.5, NDX 100 up 16, all about 0.25% until we get to the Russell 2000. She is flat. Semis are up 0.5%, trading out at 1343. Transports are up 0.5%, 10,496. Leading the charge to the upside today, booking holdings, dollar-wise that is, $16.86. Amazon is up 12.25. SPS Commerce up 9.51. Google is up $8. Charles River Labs up $8. On the downside, it's Qualys Inc. Yeah, Qualys Inc. QLYS down 13.75%, $13. Burlington stores are off $7. Twilio is off 7. That's 4 and 6% respectively. Dexcom down $6 or about 4% to the downside. Of course, I want to look at what you want to look at out there. And inside the Tiger's Den, there was a request from Jimmy D. And Jimmy Dean Sausages want to take a look at the ES. Jimmy, is it okay if we go take a look at the Russell 2000 first? I have been on the road literally for about 4.5 hours, just stepping into the or sitting down into the seat. Not that I need to sit anymore. But it's the Russell 2000 that has me curious as to what's going on there, because that is flat. So let's begin, and we'll take a look at the ES. I'll be happy to do that. But let's take a look at the Russell 2000, see what it is that we can see out here. So let me do this. Let's take a look at a couple different time frames. This here is the, well, as soon as I can get it and grab it, here's the, there we go. Here's the 30-minute time frame. So the 30-minute time frame chat. Now remember, folks, even though we're looking at a 30-minute time frame, the larger time frames work the same way, at least with regard to the tools that you and I use to be able to identify tops and bottoms, you know, retracements and so forth. So when I use tops and bottoms, we're really referring to directionally speaking. And so in the case of the Russell 2000 30-minute time frame chart, actually we're going to see, in looking at the utilizing, well, a couple different tools. One of those tools is going to be that power of 9, that 9 count to the upside or to the downside. And we can see that, give you the time, that is at 1930. So at 7:30 last evening, we can see that's when the Russell 2000 formed a short-term top. It did it with that TD setup 9 count out there. And typically, to the upside or the downside, we're going to see, you're going to see a hiccup Yeah, which means maybe for a bar or two, you're going to see a sideways trend, or you're going to see a reversal. In this case here, basically a sideways trend that formed since then. Price was also moving higher, doing less relative energy. That gave you a signal on the next bar. That was at 2000 hours, and price just really pulled back just a tad. Nothing big out here. Now at 10 o'clock this morning, this got to count number 8. And count number 8. So when that higher low, in this case here, we're looking at the counts to the upside, is going to mark that short-term, temporary, sometimes can be permanent, but temporary type of a high out here. Can happen on bars 8, 9, or 10. We don't count bars 10 here. We just know it's the bar after number 9. And here at 10 o'clock this morning, James, we can see that we had that 8 count. Now, we also see that price is moving higher, doing less relative energy. Then you get that bearish reversal signal at 10:30. And since then, price has pulled back. Now, we've seen it close underneath a couple of these red solid dash lines. So levels of support that should have held have not held out here. So the next key area for the Russell 2000, I would say, is going to be the trading session from 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The low out there is 1535. That, Jimmy D, is what I would be watching throughout the day, because the Russell 2000, maybe it's going to be a leading indicator of a further retracement to come inside of the markets. Because it has been really strong on the way up, and I'm not saying it's going to be really strong on the way down. I'm saying that's what I would be looking. Now, I've only looked at the 30-minute chart, so maybe there's more. Well, there's always more for us to consider. Now, we can also look at a 60-minute time frame chart. We could use any time frame we want. This just happens to be what I have on my system out here. Here, the same thing, price moving higher, doing less relative energy. Now, here, price found support on a 60-minute time frame right at that Tommy DeMark setup trend line. That's that red solid line on my screen right now. So price found support right where it did. Now, the low of that session, so now you've got the 30-minute, the 60-minute. The low of this session, by the way, is 1535.80. So two areas to watch. The first one I gave, I don't remember the price point. You wrote it down on a pad of paper, not me. And if we see it close below this level on a 60-minute basis, then that brings into play, you'd say, the price point from about 2 o'clock in the morning. That's on the 12th. Today's the 13th, and that was at 1526.10 out there. That's what the hourly chart says. Let's go ahead and bump things up a notch. Let's take a look at the 2-hour time frame chart for the Russell 2000. And on the 2-hour time frame chart, what do we have out here? Well, we can see we've got that 8 count that identified the high. That was yesterday sometime. Other than that, prices found support, the bottom of its support level. And really, this is all about identifying support and resistance. And we see support fall. Then the next thing is, okay, where's the next logical area of support out here? Well, in this case, for support, we can see the bottom of its profile, 1535. Now, this is a 2-hour chart, kind of lining up with that red solid line on the hourly chart out there. So 1535 is a real key area on a closing basis on an hourly or a 2-hour time frame chart. In this case, this would say if you were to breach that level, you would try to find some support at about from 6 in the morning. It's a 2-hour time frame chart, that level 1526. Only 3 time frames, and we've got to go to a commercial break out there. We come back from this break. Let's go take a look at a larger time frame for the Russell 2000. Maybe definitely the ES and other things. We'll be right back.
The TAS Profile Scanner is the most revolutionary piece of trading software that you will ever try. Wouldn't you like to approach the markets with confidence? As you begin your trading day, it's likely that you'll be faced with lots of decisions. In order to make the best decision, the first thing you'll need is a strategy that will help you minimize your risks. Whether we're in a bull or bear market, a good strategy is to have the tools needed to help you scan and analyze the markets before you trade. The TAS Profile Scanner instantly scans and filters over 2,500 global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, president of TAS Market Profile, the TAS Profile Scanner understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications, automated trading algorithms, and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. Whether you're looking at the trade matrix, the ETF heat grid, the market breadth, the landscape charts, or the many other features of the TAS Profile Scanner, this is a piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the markets and set up your trades. The team at TAS has even put together a 12-part video series to walk you through every aspect of the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find directly on the TAS order page at TFNN.com. Sign up now for only $97 a month with a risk-free 30-day trial, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See for yourself how you can harness the full power of the TAS Profile Scanner by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services section. Remember, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Don't let another day pass you by without trying out this amazing piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the market and how you place trades. Sign up today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching TigerTV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's up 85. We were looking at the Russell 2000 equity futures contract. We were looking at multiple time frames. We're going to take just a peek at the daily. So the shorter term time frames identified some short-term topping signals. That's why we can see that the Russell 2000 is flat right now. No real key levels of support have been broken, but we've identified what those are. Let's say that those levels hold, as they have as of 1:18 in the afternoon. If we take a look, and we were looking at support levels. Remember, your role, my role, we take a look at any stock chart. One of those things is to identify support or resistance. On the daily time frame, we can identify resistance in the equity futures contract. We can see that first, on the very right-hand side, price is above the resistance of the top of its daily profile. That was 15 and a quarter. We're at 1540 as we speak right now. So no top in place, but we can also see that green solid line. That green solid line, the opposite of what we were looking at as those red solid lines on the bottom for support on the short-term time frame charts. Here, we're using the high. We're not using the swing point. Not that we couldn't from December 3rd, but we're not using it. We're actually using the high from December 4th. And the high from December 4th, this is the Russell 2000 equity futures contract, is 1549.30. You're at 1540. So another 9 points. Now, the actual high today didn't get up there to test it, but that's your resistance. It got up to 1546.40. So that is the level. Now, the key here is if price is able to take that out in the Russell 2000, and I know you're going to say, after I say this next thing, you're going to say, what? If we take that out, it tells us that we have a further rally to go, or a change in trend. I guess it's really the change in trend, because you would say, "What do you? Oh, really?" For the yeah, that's what it would tell us, is that a key area of resistance has been taken out, and then you've got a real reversal that's underway. And in this case here, Russell 2000. Whoops, what did I do there? Next reversal level would be up towards its highs. That'd be in the 1720-ish type area out there. So what you want to watch, the Russell 2000 equity futures contract, is going to be the high from December the 4th out there for some type of clue. So it's running into resistance, hasn't hit it, or maybe it's close enough for me. That's why we'll go ahead and watch those short-term charts as well as the daily time frame. Now, there was a request by Jimmy D to take a look at the ES Mini. And the ES Mini, I'm just going to really focus on a couple of time frames for you because I, during the break there, was just looking at the multiple time frames. The ones that are of interest, what we're going to look at. Here's your 30-minute time frame. Here you can see that 8 count. That's Jay's 8-ball out there. So that was telling you the future, that price was going to go head down to support. The support level, there are really 2 areas. One is from the bar at 6:30 in the morning on a half-hour basis. This is from this morning. That price point is 27.47.75. We go back just a tad further, and that is from February 12th. That's at 1,700 or 1,900 hours. That low is 27.45 and a quarter. Those are your levels of support out here that are key. From a 30-minute time frame. If we take a look at the 2-hour time frame out here, the 120-minute, this was moving higher, doing less relative energy, and has that nice little dark cloud cover. So its level of support is 27.40. Hey, let's go out to Martinez, California, and speak with Brent. Brent, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the call, Steve. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. And Twillo is the equity, TWLO, folks, that we're going to take a look at. And now I'm sure that our denners are all ears to want to know, what is Brent doing with Twillo? Or Twilio?
Actually, I don't have a position, but I thought it was a pretty good example of a potential short. There's some things I liked about it. If you look at on a daily and a weekly as it went up to those highs, it had less relative energy. It's coming off of the high with some volume. I just wanted to see what different levels of potential support it had.
Yeah, okay, cool. So on Twilio, what was it that led to the volume so far today? Do you know any ideas what?
It was earnings came out after the market closed, and so that's why the things
Got it.
Has the volume and has the negativity in it today.
Okay. All right. So you're asking a really great question here. Where is support? Now, the first chart that I'm going to put up on my screen here is going to be the weekly time frame. And on the weekly time frame, here is a perfect example of what Brent was talking about, price moving higher, doing less relative energy. Plus, it has, no, the week has not come to an end. It's only Wednesday. It's only hump day. But if the week were ending, we would say, okay, here's your bearish reversal signal up at that high to suggest lower price. Now, on a weekly time frame basis, support is 106.46. So the confirmation that this would want to trade lower would be a close underneath 106.46. So far, price has just tested that level and has bounced off of it. So all that we've seen with regard to this topping type pattern in Stevie's work is a test of support. A break of that, and then my eyes always go back to the prior swing point unless there's something else that sticks out to me, and that's the December 28th level. So that would be a target should this thing close below 106.47. Now, if we take a look at the daily time frame chart, what's nice about this, Brent, is we can take a look at the bottom of its TAS market profile, which so far today has been nothing more than a test of that level. So there's another level of support, and that number is 107.83. Again, it's trading, folks, at 108.71. So a close below that says, okay, you've got a key level of support that's broken, but then I would go back to the weekly time frame just for the extra confirmation, which is just a few bucks down on a $108 stock out there. So that's what I see as areas of support that this thing would have to break through. And then from a target standpoint, on the weekly time frame, it would be the 66 or 69 level. That's the bottom of its weekly box, which would be below actually the December 24th low out there. But that's what I see when I take a look at Twilio. So what is it that's going to convince you that you should take a short?
What you just said, Steve. If I saw it go below those levels and hold there and continue to go down, and of course that's going to be an even more bearish candle if it were to do that on a weekly.
Sure.
That would be, something I would like to see, and it has enough room, I think, in it that you can be patient with it. There's no reason to jump on it at this moment. So
Yeah. Now, Twilio,
you
are they in the? I don't know. Are they in the real? What are they in the real estate, or is that something else? Am I thinking of something else?
That's Zillow. I think you're thinking of
Zillow. Okay.
Yeah. There's all these silly companies. I just look at the charts personally, but I mean, it's good to know a little bit about what they do. But if I see the thing doing, it has much more to do with what the chart's doing and all the technicals that you talk about. I try to follow.
Yes.
So that's kind of more how
you're
I
absolutely
do it.
right. The most fundamental thing is what our shareholders doing. Right? The chart itself we're agnostic to because the patterns are going to be the same, right?
Yep. That's right.
That's the beautiful thing. Which means for everybody listening out there is that find tools that you can use, and then you could trade anything on any time frame, and that's the beauty of it all. So, Brent, always good to hear your voice. Thanks for alerting us to Twilio, TWLO, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, thank you very much, Steve. You have a wonderful day. Take care.
You bet. You too. We'll be right back, and when we get back, we're going to go take a look at some folks who have sent in some emails out here. Some from yesterday. Hector and John and Tom G has written in this morning. We'll be right back. The universe provides us with opportunities all the time, and I was no different. In 2006, I invested $2,500 in a 2-day master trader course taught by Tom O'Brien, then ranked as the #1 market timer for gold. The fact is, if you want to be the best, you must learn from the best. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability and the Market Timer of the Year for 2018. To celebrate this accomplishment, TFNN.com is offering you a free 2-week subscription to my award-winning newsletter service, and there's no charge to you until day 15 unless you cancel sooner. That's right, we're waiving the normal upfront deposit, and this offer is available to anyone and everyone, even if you've tried Mastering Probability before. Sign up now, and I'll teach you the tool that identified the bottom in the Dow on January 26th, the morning that led to the largest daily point gain in history. This offer will expire on February 10th, so go to the homepage of TFNN.com now and click on Mastering Probability.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So late yesterday, one of the emails I didn't get a chance to get to came in from Hector And so hopefully, Hector, you're listening or you catch the archive. But the question was with regard to NBEV, and you had gotten in on NBEV. That's all that I remember with regard to the email. But that's okay. That was enough. In essence, the question was that a good buy? Now, at this stage here, it had to be a good buy because you're up above at least the close from yesterday. So at least you're in the money. But that being said, I'm going to give you my honest opinion as to what it is that I see so that you can take that into consideration. Now, the first thing that I see when I take a look at NBEV out here, ticker symbol, by the way, folks, NBEV, so that makes it pretty easy, is we can see that this thing, just like Brent had pointed out to us with Twilio, NBEV was moving higher into February 5th with less relative energy out there. Now, and it was doing that, and it formed on that same date a shooting star candle. Now, a shooting star candle is the opposite of a hammer. Where a hammer's trying to hammer out a bottom, a shooting star basically is saying, okay, I'm coming down to earth, so to speak. Now, they usually work or they don't. Meaning you usually see follow-through on the next trading session. The problem with follow-through on the next trading session for NBEV was it ran right into Stevie's green line, that oscillator unchanged line, where it did find support. But on the day following, it managed to crack through that level. And so at this stage here, in looking at just this specific chart, this does not have the profiles out there. What we would do is we would suggest that this is headed down to the January 3rd low out there, and that price is $4.99. Now, what we might see taking place, maybe we're seeing a counter trend rally. Maybe what this is doing is setting up the B to a C of an A to B equals CD to the downside. The price point that I would be looking at there would be about $6.90. $6.90. That would be Stevie's green line. That should be resistance. Now, I'm not telling you to exit, just telling you what it is that I see out here. Look, if this can pick up steam from a volume standpoint, move above 690, then maybe what we're looking at doesn't make sense. However, now we come back and we take a look. Remember, we had Stevie's green line at 690, and if we take a look at the daily, the weekly, and the monthly profiles out here, the bottom of the daily profile is 689. So 689, 690, that's going to be a real key resistance level. So maybe you stay in it. You're up at the session high today at 654, and you watch what takes place at 690. You tighten up your stop. That could be a turning point. If it gets rejected, that could be the C point of the A to B equals CD to the downside. If price is able to get above that area, 690 we'll call, then you're looking at 715 to 753, maybe even 779. I don't know. You've got a new weekly profile that formed this week. The problem is it's with inside the prior profile. So it's just kind of like saying consolidation here. So maybe you did catch a good bottom. It's just that what I can't do is come take a look at yesterday's bottom and try to identify any type of really great support out here, because you're below the support on the daily time frame of 689, and you're in the center of the weekly profile. So, Hector, best of luck with your trade inside of NBEV out there. We had another one came in. This was from John F., and wanted me to take a look at ticker symbol NEE. NEE is Nextera Energy out here. So the question was, you're in at 175, just wanted me to look at the symbol. So it's just trading at 182. Now, what I don't know, what we don't know, is, you know, you're in at 175. Was this like a long-term trade or you know, so I don't have enough information there to know. But instead, we're just going to analyze this equity. Here's one of the things that we know about NEE. It's trading at about 182.69. First, in looking at this, what we know is that this tested with this week the top of its weekly profile. Now, the weekly profile, 184.20, is resistance. So it's another way for us to look at this and say, hey, there's your resistance line. I don't know what the volume so far this week is, 4.2 million shares. Last time it was up here was with 10 million shares, the week of December 3rd. So it doesn't appear that it has the energy, John, to take out that swing point. If it doesn't, then maybe what we're looking at is price pulling back, Price could easily pull back to 178.97. It could pull back to 173.73, 178.85. Those would be the areas that I would be watching. That's still above your 175. Again, not knowing your time frame, kind of difficult for me to assess what you maybe should or shouldn't do. But another thing, remember we looked at the Russell 2000 equity futures contract, and we said, hey, here is resistance. It was a solid green line going across my screen. By the way, that's set up by that Tommy DeMark setup system. If you want to learn that system, and you should, and it's about the easiest, you do not need to be a technician. It is the easiest technical tool. Now, if we start to get into TD combo, TD sequential, it becomes more complicated. But we just use the easy one out here. The easy one, by the way, sometimes easy peasy is pretty good. I was trying to come up with another word to rhyme there, but I'm not that quick. But here's the deal. Remember, we talked about the Russell 2000 and why that is resistance. Now you get to see it in action, because here that was set up by the high on December 12th. And if we take a look at what's transpired inside of ticker symbol NEE Nextera, you can see that on the trading day of the 11th, price found resistance there. Yesterday, resistance there. Today, resistance there. So we know it's really strong resistance. So on the other side, if you can close over that high, boy, that would be a nice thing. Maybe old resistance becomes new support. What it looks like to me, you're going to see inside of NEE is a pullback to about the 180.43. That's a daily time frame. That should be a daily level of support. That is the Stevie green line, different green line. That's the squiggly green line. I guess maybe I need to recolor my lines out here. Probably should, make sense. But that's what I'd be looking for. Below that, then you're looking at about 178.85. So I hope that helps you out. Sorry we couldn't get to your request yesterday. Didn't reach my phone until, well, we were going off the air. Now, let's go to calls or requests from today. And one of those coming in here from Tom G. So Tom writes in, good afternoon, Steve. I'm looking to get back long JNUG, the junior nugget out here. So the miners inside the mining sector. And would like to know your thoughts on this and gold in general. This is trading out the GDXJ. And then he's got some other things to take a look at. Looking at entering TZA long tomorrow on the close today. Well, you've got, so Tom, without even knowing that you had sent this in, you've got my outlook with regard to the Russell 2000 and key levels of support that the equity futures contract must close below in order for you to really entertain this, getting into the TZA trade out there. Now, let's try to come back here and take a look at the junior nugget. Now, what I'm going to first start off, because you asked me about just gold in general, and so what I'm going to do here is, well, first let me put up junior nugget on the screen. And you can see it's having a fairly decent day out here, which is different than the GDX, I believe. Let me see. It's having a decent day. We're going to break. I'll put some little hocus pocus dominocus on this. We'll come back and I'll be able to give you my take on the GDX. Be right back.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. So let's go back and answer Tom's question out here with regard to the junior nugget. So, Tom, I've got the junior nugget on my screen, and because you're more interested really in the short-term time frame, we're going to take a look at the daily. Let me just expand out the daily chart. So here, in essence, is what you know. You know that there's fairly stiff resistance up at 1162. Now, the reason that we say that is because in price is trading right now into the point of control, 1080, well, let me tell you exactly what it is. I couldn't see it, 1097. And you can also see 1097 is acted as a pretty decent level of resistance over the past 5-6 trading sessions out here. So I would not recommend that you get in now because you're right up into a resistance area. But the reason why I said 1162 was some pretty significant resistance is because the top of that box, that red line, closer to the center, it's really not in the center, than the bottom. And so your sellers are in essence inside of the junior nugget are lined up between 1097 and 1162. The better buy on this, 966, the bottom of the box. The question is, will it get down there? And I don't know. But if we take a look at resistance, we have another resistance level to take a look at. And for the past 2, 4, 5, now today being the 5th session out here, you can see how Stevie's green line, the squiggly line out there, and I'll change the colors out here. That way I don't confuse you. The oscillator and change line at 1093 has also been resistance. So it's trading up into resistance. So do you buy it when you're trading right at resistance? Not unless you could see some type of signal that said price was going to go ahead and take that out. I don't really have that. I don't have that I can see. I'll give you something to think about. As this thing was moving, now you've got decent volume today, that's for sure. 7 million shares. This thing moved lower with 9 million shares a few days ago and about 8.5 million shares. So volume looks pretty good out here. Look, what I want to do is just give you the support and resistance area. That way you can go ahead and make a decision from there. You asked about gold in general. And if we take a look at gold in general, it's really struggling in terms of U.S. dollars. It is not struggling in terms of euros. Let me take off the A to B equals CD out here. That's panel number 2. And, of course, the panel says gold expressed in euros. That makes it pretty easy to figure out which one I'm referring to. And you can see that has made a new high, a higher high today. Same thing with gold and yen. So here's what we know, Tom. Buyers of gold in terms of euros and yen, and also in terms of pound sterling, they're not sellers. They've been net buyers today as prices have been able to go ahead and make a higher high above yesterday's high. Now, we've made a higher high above yesterday's high, so to speak, in dollars, but we're below the swing point that was established out here for gold on January 31st. That is not the case with regard to gold priced in these other currencies out here. So they would be the energy source. Right now, it is not your friends in U.S. dollars that are ready to push gold higher. So if you're going to do it, you're going to make that decision based upon gold priced in those other currencies out here. Also of interest is the mere fact that gold found resistance today at the center of its profile, which is 1321. So to a certain extent, JNUG and gold are doing the same thing. They found resistance there. Maybe if you can get it during the day, gold pushing down to 1306. That's been really good support. That's the bottom of the daily profile. That's the top of the weekly profile. That might be your better entry time into junior nugget or any of the mining trades out there. And a close below 1306 says, okay, you're going to wait for the A to B equals CD to the downside to complete, should in fact that be the pattern that is unfolding. So I hope that that helps you out with regard to the junior nugget. We had another request. This one comes in from Alex. He says, I'm long TLT and notice it has been going down every day this week. Do you see a change in interest rates? Here's what I see. Let's just take a look at the TLT, but look at it via what bonds are doing out here. And really, we're looking at the same instrument. Well, I'm sorry, different instrument, but in essence, the same thing. What are bonds doing in euros, in yen, in sterling, and in U.S. dollars? Why? Because when something's moving, you want to see all the traders around the globe making money, something rising. Otherwise, one person's a seller, the other person's a buyer out here. So you're long TLT, you need bonds to be moving higher in all of the currencies. You actually push to a lower low today for bonds in pound sterling. So in essence, they're sellers. You've seen a lower low in terms of bonds in dollars out here. And it's back inside a daily profile. And so what I would suggest is anticipate that bonds are going to head lower. Rates would then head higher, right? But where bonds should find support would be at the 144 and 22/32 level out here. You've got stiff resistance at about 147. That's marked on my screen out here. So at this stage of the game, bonds really don't interest me a whole lot. I'm neutral. Personally, at this stage here, I'm neutral. If I put up a 30-minute time frame and I just look at what's going on, there's really not a lot of interest here. You can see the resistance. See that solid green line out there? That's been your resistance area. That price, by the way, I can give you what that price. That's the high from the candle at 5 p.m. out at about 145 and 20. I'm sorry, 146. 146 would be the number. So that's a resistance level that you want to see bonds close above on a 30-minute basis to suggest that you're right on the TLT trade. So, Alex, I hope that helps you out as well. Now, a question that came inside the den from Mr. Z is, where did I put that? Let me put this back here. Is if we could go take a look at, please show the panel with all your global equity ETF charts, and please comment on the outlooks out here. So let's go do that. Let's go take a look at it, which is kind of a nice segue. By the way, I don't know how that works. Just must have been coincidence that we were just taking a look at gold and bonds and how they're priced in the other currencies. You know that that is a key. And then John is asking here, hey, what are the other global ETFs doing? Now, my global ETF chart looks like this, but this is just priced in dollars. So I don't know how these are actually trading in their local currency. But here you're looking at 9 worldwide ETFs out here. The top upper left is the Dow Diamonds. What is that doing? Well, look, that broke a trend line. By the way, this is a weekly time frame chart we're looking at. Broke a descending trend line. It's back inside the range out here on a weekly basis. It's consolidation range. What's the message here? It's going back to the top of the consolidation. The top of the consolidation being the high from January 22nd, 2008. That's its message. If you take a look at the next to it to the right, you can see the priced in U.S. dollars, the UK ETF out here, and it's made a nice bounce, but it's below resistance out here, just even below the bottom of the consolidation level that we would use for it, similar to the Dow, and that's the week of February the 5th out here. Nice little rally, nice little counter trend rally. The same thing for the Australian ETF out there, EWA. The Canada, so North America looks better than the other countries we looked at, but it is sitting right at the bottom of that consolidation. China, nice counter trend rally, but still below resistance. Everything is still below resistance. Hey, another way to look at how is the U.S. performing in all types of, or in the major currencies versus other major instruments is this set of tables. We'll look at that when we get back from this break.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com. No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark have launched a special for a limited time only. Save 25% off Primal Edge and Health Signals. Just use promo code HEALTH for Health Signals or use promo code PRIMAL for Primal Edge and save 25% off instantly when you sign up. All the details are available on each order page at TFNN. Certified personal trainer Nico DeHaan's newsletter Health Signals comes out twice a month and is packed with great information on health, fitness, and diet. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox, and contains a special blend of ionic soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form. This sale won't last long. Sign up now using promo code HEALTH for Health Signals or PRIMAL for Primal Edge and save 25%. For all the details, visit the front page of TFNN.com right now.
This is David White. Stay tuned because coming up next is the Power Trading Hour right here on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. So we got the 2-minute countdown, so to speak, out here. And the page that we're on, if you're watching us on TigerTV, and I'll explain it if you're just listening on your mobile device, radio, so forth, shows a number of different instruments priced in the 4 major currencies. U.S. dollars at the top, then then in the comments tell you, you're looking at Dow futures in euros, yen, and pounds out here. And then you're going to see next to the description or the comment field, you're going to see something that says ROC, and then you'll see 34. Now, this is a daily time frame that we're looking at. That stands for rate of change, and this is the 34th trading session since Christmas Eve, since there was a major bottom put into the markets. And what this allows you to do is see how these different instruments are trading in the major currencies out here. Now, on the right-hand side, I also have other instruments. I've got the ES Mini out here, so we can take a look at the S&P 500. Then I've got the DAX and the FTSE and the Shanghai. I've got gold and bonds. I've got the currency. So we're using just simply as a starting point, not that it might have been a bottom for each of these instruments, but as a starting point to understand where the money is flowing, where is the percentage gain going out here. And if we take a look at the actual performer out here, even though it wasn't off of the bottom, is still light sweet crude. That's on the right hand set of charts out there. About halfway down says CL. You see West Texas Intermediate, WTI, in dollars, which is up 26%, in euros 28%, in yen 20%, in pounds 25%. That's been the number one performer. From an equity market standpoint, it is still the U.S. stock market by far. 17% in the Dow, 17% in the S&P 500, 19% for the Dow and S&P 500 in terms of euros out there, 16.5% in terms of pounds, and over 10% in terms of yen. If you look at the Nikkei, it's flat in dollars. Anyways, here's the point. What is the point? The point is you need to know your P's and Q's. You've got to know where money is flowing. That's what this set of charts does. That's what the newsletter does for you each and every day. Folks, thanks for being here. Stay tuned. Your favorite polar bear's up next. I'll see you on Valentine's Day. Don't forget the flowers and chocolates. See you tomorrow.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.